In the late 1800s, travel meant horses, carriages, and railways. The streets of Europe bustled with the clop of hooves and the grind of wooden wheels. But hidden in a small workshop in Mannheim, Germany, one man was about to change the world. His name was Carl Benz, and he had a vision. A self-propelled vehicle that didn't rely on animals. He was on the brink of something revolutionary. But while Carl was an engineer and inventor, he wasn't a showman, and without someone to believe in the potential of his creation, it seemed destined to fail. But behind every great invention is often a story left untold. This is the story of Bertha Benz, a woman who refused to let a groundbreaking idea gather dust. Bertha had always believed in Carl. She knew his patent motor wagon, the world's first practical automobile, was more than just a machine. It was the future. But belief wasn't enough. The world needed to see it with their own eyes. And Carl? He wasn't sure he could make that happen. On August 5th, 1888, while Carl slept, Bertha made a decision that would change everything. Without telling her husband, she took the motor wagon and set out on a journey that no one had ever dared to make before. A 106-kilometer trip from Mannheim to her hometown of Pforzheim. Her two sons, Eugen and Richard, joined her. But they weren't just going for a ride. Bertha was about to show the world that this strange machine could actually work. And she was about to do it with grit, determination, and a whole lot of courage. Imagine the scene. A woman driving a loud, smoking contraption on roads built for horses. People gawked. Some thought it was witchcraft. Others simply shook their heads in confusion. Bertha's journey wasn't just a demonstration of technology. It was a test of determination. Every challenge she faced made her more certain that the automobile had a future. And by solving these problems, she provided critical feedback to Carl. The brakes needed to be stronger. The fuel system needed to be more reliable. The car needed gears to tackle hills. Her trip wasn't just a publicity stunt. It was a field test that helped perfect the design. After a grueling 12-hour journey, Bertha reached her destination. She sent a telegram to Carl, letting him know she and the boys were safe. But more importantly, she let him know that his invention had succeeded. News of Bertha's journey spread quickly. People who had doubted the automobile now saw it differently. They saw its potential, not just as a toy for the wealthy, but as a tool that could transform society. But Bertha pressed on, maneuvering through rough paths and uphill climbs. And the motor wagon wasn't perfect. It broke down more than once. But each time, Bertha found a solution. She cleaned the fuel line with a hat pin. She patched a broken ignition with her garter. When the car needed fuel, she stopped at a pharmacy in Wiesloch and bought Ligroin, making it the first ever gas station. Bertha's daring drive was the turning point. It proved that the automobile was reliable and practical. Investors took notice. Public interest grew. And Carl Benz's invention finally started to gain traction. In 1889, the Benz patent motor wagon was exhibited at the World Fair in Paris. By the early 1900s, automobiles were changing the way people lived, worked, and traveled. And it all started because one woman refused to let the world ignore her husband's brilliance. Bertha Benz didn't just believe in her husband's work. She acted on that belief. Her journey was a statement of confidence, courage, and ingenuity. Today, we take cars for granted. But every highway, every road trip, every commute traces back to that single daring journey in 1888. Without Bertha's bold move, who knows how long it would have taken for the automobile to change the world. So, the next time you get in a car, think of Bertha Benz. Think of the woman who saw the future, grabbed the wheel, and drove it straight into history. Bertha's story isn't just a behind-the-scenes tale of invention. It's a reminder that sometimes the biggest revolutions don't come from the inventors themselves, but from the people who believe in them. Because of Bertha, the world kept moving forward. Because of her, we're still driving today.